W.O.N. YouTube Networks is now on Facebook. Check it out.
Thank you. We are extremely excited. We have our football team back in the borough of Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Bolts. Please give them a hand. This is, we started off the return to professional sports when our baseball team started years ago out in Coney Island. Then came the Nets, then the announcement by my great predecessor that the Islanders are coming, and now we have football taking place in Coney Island. You can't ask for anything more. Those of us who could never get enough of football, you know, I'm a Jet fan, so I'm in perpetual crying every time they take the field, looks like. You know, the Brooklyn Bolts are bringing professional football back to the borough for the first time since 1949. As the FXFL kicks off their inaugural season, we have so many people to thank for that. First is my good friend from the Chamber of Commerce, President Carlo, Scissura, who's here. Our fantastic city council person. We're going to be seeing a lot of great things from this great person out in Coney Island area, Treyger, Councilman Treyger. FXFL Commissioner Brian Woods. And Brooklyn Bolts head coach John Bock is here as well. The fall team of the Football League, which owns the Brooklyn Bolt, is working closely with the Brooklyn Cyclones, who's doing a great job in part of the renovation and revitalization of the Cyclone in the Coney Island area. Their front office and staff will be helping out with the day-to-day operation. The season consists of 5 games against franchises in Boston, Omaha, and other locations in the area. Many of our players that are playing, they're 3 years removed from college, and some of them have experience in the NFL, so you're going to get a quality game for nowhere near the expensive nosebleed prices that come with the NFL. We have some great guys these are pros at their best that played on the high level of the NFL. You know, the sports in Brooklyn has been one for so many years, ever since we've lost our beloved Brooklyn Dodgers many years ago. This is something that we can look forward to finally building up our Brooklyn franchise around professional athletes. In 2001, when the Cyclones came and opened their field at MCU Park, this marked the 3rd season, as I stated, of the Brooklyn Nets at the NBA, on the NBA level. Professional football used to be part of Brooklyn landscape many years ago. Most recently, the Brooklyn and New York Yankees of the All-American Football Conference back in 1949 was the last time that we saw that. That team was divided up when the AAFC merged with the NFL in 1950. Now, 65 years later, the Bolts have brought professional football back to Brooklyn. Brooklyn has always been a breeding ground for some of the most famous sports figures. Everyone from Michael Jordan in basketball, Vince Lombardi, who the trophy is named after, boxing greats such as Mike Tyson, and baseball Joe Torre. That only names a few of great players that we've had in Brooklyn. And it means a lot, because what it does, in addition to seeing many of these great players on the field of the sports, it also says something to our young people as they start to get prepared for the field of life, some of the difficulties and challenges. How do you play through pain? You can't simply sit on the couch and call the plays and you're a detached spectator and not on the real field of life. When you are on the field and you see how you have to be able to continue to play no matter how challenging it is and no matter how difficult it is, when our young people are able to sit in that stadium in MCU Park to see some of these men play the game of sports, they understand nothing is unattainable. And no matter what people believe you can or cannot do. No other place in life teaches you the importance of teamwork and coming together as one unit, this sports. And the place that personifies that the most is on the football field. These guys are in great physical shape. Their minds are right. They understand that when you take the field, you're taking the field as one unit, and that's what Brooklyn is about. One unit, one borough, one team. Team Brooklyn is going to be cheering on Team Bolts as they take the field in MCU Park. So I want to call up my good friend, Councilman Treyger, in his area, bringing the Brooklyn Bolts to Brooklyn. Councilman Treyger.
Thank you, Mr. Borough President, for extending Brooklyn's golden age into Coney Island and for continuing the wonderful renaissance that we're seeing across the borough. I want to thank, again, the Borough President for his work and his diligence in seeing this through. I want to thank Carlo Scissura for his support of all the neighborhoods that we serve here in Brooklyn that make Brooklyn great, including right here, Coney Island as well. I want to thank Steve Cohen, I want to thank Mr. Wilpon, I want to thank the Cyclones, and I want to thank the Bolts organization for investing in Brooklyn and investing in Coney Island. I want to say, I've always said that Coney Island brings the thunder, and now we have the Bolts to prove it. I want to extend my heartfelt appreciation because in Coney Island we have wonderful amusements, we have a wonderful district, we have an entertainment district, but a lot of our economy is seasonal. And I truly appreciate the fact that you are extending the life of the economy in our neighborhood. People will be visiting Coney Island during months that sometimes they don't visit. And I truly appreciate that. I appreciate the attention, the time, the resources in our part of Brooklyn. And I want to commend everyone here, as the Borough President mentioned. It takes a team. It takes a team to get things done. Discipline, work, sacrifice, practice. Those are things that don't happen overnight. So I commend this organization from the top down for really acting as one to make this happen. And I vow as the local councilman, in partnership with our dynamic Borough President and all my stakeholders, that we will be supporting this Bolts group and we will be supporting more and more great events in Brooklyn. I envision a Super Bowl one day. Why not? Think big. Let's go.
That's right.
That will be a strike of lightning that we welcome. Thank you so much for this day. God bless everyone. Thank you.
Good friend from the chamber. Come on, Carlo, say a few words up here.
Thank you, Eric. First of all, I gotta say, looking at all of you, stand up, stand up, stand up. What do they have on their jerseys? What's the word? Brooklyn! Give them a round of applause. Brooklyn is the word. It's always a pleasure when Jeff Wilpon is here. Thank you for being here. It's an even greater pleasure, Jeff, when Haida comes out, because Haida is the woman that runs everything in my world, so we got it. Look, it's very simple. Economic development, business, jobs, excitement, it continues to come to Brooklyn. It started with the Cyclones. You guys were ahead of your time. It continued with the Nets. It's going to happen with the Islanders. It's happening with football. Jeff, I think soccer right behind it. Right, Eric? Soccer should be in Brooklyn. Hockey, baseball, basketball, football, soccer. But you guys are really leading the way. I have to tell you, I think the commitment of bringing this football team to Brooklyn says only one thing. That anytime people say, yeah, the hipness, the hotness, everything about Brooklyn, it's passé, it hasn't even started yet. With Eric right here, with Mark Treyger in the City Council, with the Chamber continuing to do great business for the borough, with these three entities combining and working together, and private investment coming to this borough, creating jobs, creating more excitement, more entertainment, we can only get better. So I really want to commend everybody behind the Bolts. Guys, are you ready to win? Do you love Brooklyn? All right, that's all that matters. Thank you, everyone.
Right. And let's hear from our Commissioner Brian Woods, the Commissioner of FXFL.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be very brief here, but what a great day here in Brooklyn. Great weather, and I tell people this all the time. The word's gotten out about our league to an extent, but I want to be very clear here. It's just not some of these players back here that have NFL experience. It's just about every one of them. We tell people all the time it's a minor league model with a major league product. So what you're going to see with the FXFL is NFL caliber talent on Wednesday night. So I invite everyone here in attendance and go out and tell your friends. Let's try to pack MCU Park Wednesday night. I want to thank Mr. Wilpon here, Steve Cohen, Vice President GM with the Cyclones organization. They were really the big reason to bring this team to Brooklyn. We had initial meetings months ago. I can assure you that the gestation period for a professional football league is a lot more than 6 months. And we put it together in just about that time. So I'm very proud of their willingness to mobilize, their willingness to get behind this. And I think we're going to have an exciting product on the field Wednesday night and something to give football fans in the Brooklyn area something to be excited about. So I appreciate everyone coming out this afternoon, and look forward to seeing you again Wednesday night. Thanks again.
Let's hear it for the coach of the Brooklyn Bolts, John. John, come on up and say a few words.
Good afternoon. I can't let you know how excited we are to be here today. We put the staff and team together in a very short period of time. And for the last 17 days, these young men and coaches have put together a great product and a great team right now. I'm so proud of each and every one of you guys. Real hard and traveling. I know how excited I am personally to be back in New York. It's been 10 years since my last trip here. But I'm excited to bring football back to Brooklyn and bring it back to New York. So bring the thunder, and we're ready to go, everybody.
All right. And before we bring up our last speaker, we have had a series of meetings with coaches in the building, soccer coaches, baseball coaches, football coaches, because all of us who have played any type of little league sport, we realize that which we learned from our coaches stayed with us throughout our entire lives. And so a coach plays a vital role, and we want to take the coach not only on the field to teach our young people how to be motivated about what coaches do. And I'm pretty sure all these guys will tell you there are good days and bad days with coaches, but when you put them all together, it's an asset to have a great coach in your life. So thank you, Coach, for what you're doing with these young men and these athletes. We won't have a good meeting and a good announcement without the Wilpon family and what they've done with the Cyclones and how they've just been really an asset for the borough. So please come up and say a few words on behalf of the family. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your hospitality. Sometimes good things come from bad things, and the hurricane that hit a couple years ago, just about a year ago, and the rebuilding of MCU Park and the ability to put in turf really made this all happen. If that didn't happen, we'd still have natural grass. It'd be very uneconomical to run a football league and have football games right after the baseball season and expect that grass to grow again and be able to play baseball next spring. So, sometimes you get lucky with things. It's a bad situation for Brooklyn, Staten Island. Everybody was very hard hit, but we got something good out of it. We got an interesting football situation here, and I'm hoping that it really takes off with the neighborhood, and people around New York City want to come out and watch this team play. I'm sure the guys are going to work real hard. They got a goal in mind of getting back to the NFL, same as our minor league team, the Cyclones. Those kids have a dream and a hope one day of getting back and getting up to the major league level themselves. So again, Mr. President, thank you. Great job you do.
And once you played in BK, I don't know if you want to go back to the NFL. We're opening any question for any of our day's guests as well. No question is great. So we want to just read over the proclamation before we close. Whereas the officers and members of the Brooklyn Bolts Fall Football League gather here to announce Brooklyn Bolts Welcoming Day at MCU Park and to recognize applying the successful model of minor league baseball to football, allowing players to live out their NFL dreams and continue in their goals by playing professionally. And whereas on behalf of all Brooklynites, I salute the Brooklyn Bolts for their exciting contribution to our borough. I commend them for being a part of the full experimental football league. I applaud the Brooklyn Bolts for opening doors for young men who have outstanding collegiate football careers to play professionally outside of the NFL. I congratulate the Brooklyn Bolts team as they are honored here today, and I thank everyone present for all they have and continue to do to make this great borough one Brooklyn. Now, therefore, I, Eric L. Adams, President of the Borough of Brooklyn, do hereby confirm this citation on the Brooklyn Bolts. Congratulations, you guys. Welcome to Brooklyn Professional.